everybody. Welcome to another Autumn 2013 SWAT review. My name is Kate, otherwise known as Narataki.
And I'm Alan, otherwise known as Hisui.
We're from ReverseThieves.com. You can go there to get our monthly Speakeasy podcast, as well as other SWAT reviews for the new season and case closed reviews from the past season.
And this time we are looking at Arpeggio of Blue Steel from Studio SANZIGEN, and it is streaming on Crunchyroll.
And it's about a war on Earth where all the oceans have been cut off, so all the continents can't basically do anything in the ocean, fish or communicate or use it for energy. And
due to global warming, the sea level has risen, so Japan is under a lot of water. And apparently that sparks something that these mysterious ships called the Fleet of Fog have come out. They're like nigh invincible, and they basically destroyed Earth's military and its ability to communicate through satellite or over the seas.
And it's devastated the economy across the world, and there's kind of weird alliances now of sort of counter-military, and our main character he's like a rogue, really, because he has his own submarine, and he has this girl who is sort of the AI of the submarine, and she's from the Fleet of Fog, and he is from the Earth military, but they've combined forces and are they're not on either side.
And she doesn't remember anything before being activated other than she was supposed to follow him, so he can't just ask her what the whole deal with the Fleet of the Fog is.
And his father is known as this deserter who went over to the other side and is sort of a legend, but he doesn't really know whatever happened to him. But we're kind of assuming, that this girl is also connected to the past of his father and somehow.
Well, she mentioned that his father sent her to him, so...
It's all connected. We don't really know how yet. It definitely seems like kind of this complicated stories that, is definitely, not even getting a little piece of it in the first episode. So, where do I start? One of the things that I didn't, super dislike it, but at the same time, in a way, the show felt like it was bullshitting me. And I don't know how to put it any better than that, but, it feels like it's paying a lot of lip service to some big ideas, and the main character kind of gives this speech in the middle about how he wants to change the status quo, and it just kind of felt very flat to me, and it felt like it was trying to prove that it's really deep, but it's not really. But it's just the first episode, so it could be deep, but it really didn't make me believe it in the first episode. And I think part of that problem was that it starts off fairly strong. There's some battles. We're getting kind of an idea of the fleet. We're getting an idea of his crew. And then it goes into flashback mode, and it tells us how they met for the first time. And that whole sequence I actually felt was a mistake, because I thought it lost the momentum of the show, and it brought in that my feeling of yes, there was a lot of personality missing from that backstory for both of them, and it was just a little blah.
Since we learned at the end of the episode, and if you're just paying attention, you'll probably figure it out, that all the other ships in the Fleet of the Fog seem to have their own AIs, which are girls, and they all seem to be based on real Earth ships, only they have, wacky space weapons. But it just seems like one of those Mecha Musane shows, only instead of kind of being generally flippant and fan servicey like, say, Strike Witches, no, man, we're not going to have any fan service. It's going to be serious business. But it still feels kind of hollow and fluffikin, like one of those.
Hollow, that's it. That I think that's the word I was looking for, Al.
Yeah, and it just feels it feels hollow and fluffikin like one of those Mecha Mashani shows, but it really wants you to believe that it's not. It's better than those shows. This one is the real for real deal.
And maybe it is. The thing also is the manga art, I actually think looks way more interesting. I think that kind of art style is a little more interesting, but it seems to me that they really cutesied it up, and that also, I think, and certainly shallow from my point of view on me, that also makes it a little harder for me to take it seriously. But it could have some depth. I mean, I'm not ready to dismiss it completely out of hand, but like I said, I feel like it's bullshitting me a little bit and throwing like terms at me and little grandiose speeches and whatever.
And it wants to have like kind of like a political or social commentary. Like, I feel like...
But it could. It could.
But you wonder if it's going to be, oh, hey, there were some interesting ideas here. You're like, oh, this was Baby's first attempt at political allegory. Oh, that was so cute, but not good. But so cute that you tried.
And the girl, we see at the end some other of the ship girls, and it just... That's where it's starting. It's almost like if it was just the one girl who was the AI of the ship, maybe it would... although it does already feel a little like magical girlfriend, so like they gotta be careful how they balance it.
Because, there was that one girl from the, main ship of the fog who was playing the piano and was like, I'm the bratty little girl who plays piano. And then there was I'm the spunky Callan type with the blue hair.
So, yeah, that wasn't giving me much confidence at the end. And I think we got to talk about the CG a little bit just because it got brought up a lot.
I don't think it was perfect. I mean, certainly nobody is going to be like, boy, I hope that all animation other than this goes away, and this is the only thing we get from now on. But I think you would be remiss not to notice that it has definitely been an improvement over all CG shows from Japan we've seen in the past.
As far as character animation goes, I think we've seen better CG of like ships and battles and stuff at this point, but for character animation, going that route, which a lot of them don't, I think it is getting better. The most recent example that you could probably compare this to is Kingdom, and the character animation here is better than that. So I think it's getting there. It's not great. You're definitely going to notice it, and I think that also, unfortunately, is adding to characters feeling a little personality less. Because there's a lot, like sometimes they just look like cold steel, and this is not just the actual AI or robot characters. This is like human, and they feel a little cold at times and emotionless, and that I can definitely attribute a bit to the animation.
But I feel like because it's just so much cheaper. And it's a little bit easier. Not like totally like, oh, we just knocked that out in 5 minutes, but I feel like it's one of those things that, kind of like CG in movies, that will never totally be different from hand-drawn, but I feel like it might improve to the point where you might kind of eventually get like a Pixar-y level. Like, yeah, that's pretty good. In, say, 5 years down the line.
Pixar level TV animation? That's crazy. No way.
Maybe like American Pixar TV.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's improving. I think it'll get better. I think it'll get to the point where you don't like mind it as much, hopefully. But I mean, this was certainly not the worst. Oh no, it's not really, guys. I mean, I'm not saying that it should win any awards.
Well, you can't criticize it. Just realize that it is a progression. Alright, see you guys next time.
I look across the raging war and feel the steady beating of my heart. 嵐の前の静けさに刃を振り下ろしていく。繰り返し a memory